Main idea. To determine the main idea of a paragraph takes a concentration and understanding of the supporting details. Therefore, it is important to understand supporting details in a paragraph. Main idea can be stated and implied. Stated main idea. We say the main idea is stated in a paragraph if it is written by the author in a sentence, and we call this sentence a topic sentence. Therefore, if you want to find the main idea, you need to find the topic sentence. A topic sentence might have one or more of the following 5 clues. Recognizing these clues will help you to identify the topic sentence in a paragraph. Clue number 1, patterns. A topic sentence usually has 2 pieces of information, topic and controlling idea. A topic sentence will have one or more clues or indicators of a pattern. Such pattern shows what the author wants to say about the topic and how he is presenting his thoughts or major supporting details in the story. Let's look at examples of a topic sentence. Number 1, gangs and fraternities share many characteristics but are quite different. The underlined part in the sentence is gangs and fraternities, and this is the topic. What is the author's attitude about the topic? What is he going to say about the topic? He will be talking about different characteristics, and that's what he says in the topic sentence. And you read, share many characteristics but are different. So we can predict that the pattern of supporting details in this story will be probably comparison and contrast. He will be talking about similarities because we have share many characteristics, and he will be talking about differences, but are quite different. The second sentence, research has shown that birth defects have various causes. You can see that the topic is birth defects. What about this topic? The topic will be discussing causes of birth defects. So we can predict that the pattern of organization is cause and effect. Sentence number 3. Ragtime music is a style that developed at the turn of the 20th century. Ragtime music is the topic, and the controlling idea developed at the turn of the 20th century. This controlling idea shows us time. So we'll be reading about the history of such type of music. Number 4. The moth and butterfly undergo several changes between hatching from an egg to mature adulthood. The topic is the moth and butterfly, and the controlling idea go several changes. So the word changes indicates that we'll be talking about cause and effect or some time order. Number 5. Managers experience a number of different personnel problems that must be solved before a department can work effectively. The topic is managers, and the controlling idea is a number of different personnel problems. So we'll be reading about a list of problems that managers go through. Therefore, the pattern of organization is listing a list of problems. Let's look at another example. Popcorn is made up of 3 main components, endosperm, germ, and the pericarp. First, the endosperm is made up of soft and hard starch granules. The endosperm is always white or yellow in color and is carbohydrate. The function of the starch is to provide energy for the living part of the kernel, more commonly known as the germ or embryo. Finally, the outer hull of the kernel is the pericarp, which is made of cellulose. The pericarp or hull is usually white or yellow in color, though the range of colors includes red, black, and many colors in between. What do you think the main idea is? Where is the topic sentence where the main idea is located? If you need time, pause and read it again. And when you're ready with your answer, go to the next slide. And the answer is the first sentence. Popcorn is made up of 3 main components. The topic is popcorn. The list of supporting details represent 3 main components of popcorn. This is the controlling idea. And it's a list of components: endosperm, germ, pericarp. Clue number 2, S words. In a topic sentence, a type or a pattern of supporting details can be introduced by one of the following S words. For example, several kinds, ways of something, 3 advantages, various reasons, several causes, 5 steps, a number of effects, some factors, among the reasons, a series of, and so on. So look for those S words that represent some kind of a category, and that might help you to find the topic sentence faster. Let's go back to some examples that we've read in the beginning. The moth and butterfly undergo several changes between hatching from an egg to mature adulthood. If you remember, the moth and butterfly is the topic, and we said the controlling idea was undergo several changes. And if you notice, we have the second clue, which is an S word, changes. So it's a list of changes that the moth undergoes to become a butterfly. The second sentence, managers experience a number of different personnel problems that must be solved before a department can work effectively. The topic is managers, and the controlling idea is a number of different personnel problems. Once again, the S word is problems. So the major supporting details will be problem 1, 2, 3, and so on. So the pattern is a list of problems, listing. I call clue 3 contrast. For such contrast, authors can use the following negative transitions or phrases. Even so, however, in contrast, nevertheless, nonetheless, nothing could be further from the truth. On the contrary, on the other hand, still, notwithstanding the fact that, unfortunately, yet, and many more. Let's look at the example. The English often believe they have the main role in defeating Napoleon. However, the Russians played the major part in his downfall. The first part of the sentence, the English often believe they have the main role in defeating Napoleon, is more like a general idea for me. It's more like a hook. And then he switches our attention to the main point, to the main idea of the topic. However, the Russians played the major part in his downfall. So the topic would be defeating Napoleon, and the controlling idea, Russians' major part in his downfall. Using contrast is a great device to write a topic sentence or a thesis statement for your essays. Clue number 4 is research words. Sometimes authors use research words or phrases such as, researchers found out that, this study shows, studies reveal. This is one of the ways to begin a topic sentence. For example, research has shown that birth defects have various causes. So pay attention to those research words. They might help you as well. However, you have to be very careful. Sometimes research words used for major or minor supporting details. And clue number 5, conclusion. Look for the conclusion or summary at the end of the paragraph. What is a conclusion? A conclusion is a paraphrased topic sentence. Sometimes you will read a topic sentence at the beginning of a paragraph and a conclusion at the end. So when you choose a topic sentence, make sure it matches the conclusion. And here are some words that the author can use for a conclusion. To sum up, in conclusion, so, then, in brief, indeed. For example, indeed, birth defects have different causes. Implied main idea. If the main idea is not stated, in other words, there is no topic sentence in the paragraph, the main idea is implied. So those 5 clues that we've been studying are not going to help you to find the topic sentence. What do? We take the following steps to determine the main idea. First, find the topic. Second, analyze supporting details or controlling idea of an author. And figure out the overall pattern of organization. Does this look familiar? Topic, supporting details, pattern of organizations, and transitions. This is all we would find in a topic sentence if the main idea were stated. So now the process is reversed. Now you have to analyze the topic, patterns, supporting details, and put all this in one sentence to create your own topic idea with the writer's, author's main idea. Let's read the story together. One of the most popular snacks in the United States is popcorn. Many people like it, but not many people know what popcorn is made up of. First, the endosperm is made up of soft and hard starch granules. The endosperm is always red or yellow in color and is carbohydrate. The function of the starch is to provide energy for the living part of the kernel, more commonly known as the germ or embryo. Finally, the outer hull of the kernel is the pericarp, which is made of cellulose. The pericarp or hull is usually white or yellow in color, though the range of colors include red, black, and many colors in between. Now, if you remember, we already read this story, and that story had a topic sentence. In this paragraph, there is no topic sentence. If you look at the first two sentences, try to analyze them and see if those two sentences are specific enough for the topic sentence, for the main idea. Or maybe those two sentences are a bit too general for a main idea. Maybe this is just an introduction. So when you read a story like this, find the supporting details, find the transitions like first, second, or finally. Analyze major supporting details, find the topic, and create the topic sentence with the main idea. Let's go to the next slide and see how it works. So after we read the story, we realized that the topic is popcorn. We analyzed the transitions and supporting details. We found two transitions like first and finally. And we found three major supporting details: endosperm, germ, pericarp. Then our third step is to analyze the pattern. How are these three major supporting details organized? They are organized as a list of items. So they represent three main components of the popcorn. Therefore, the implied main idea could be stated in a sentence like, popcorn has three main components. So this last sentence, popcorn has three main components, is not written by the writer, by the author. You write this sentence. The author only implies main idea, but now this is your job to write it, to express it in a sentence. That's why we call the main idea is implied, not stated. When you take a reading quiz or test, you do not need to write a sentence, a topic sentence. Usually you have a multiple choice, but you need to recognize the questions that ask you for the implied main idea. And here's a list of possible questions. What is the main idea of the passage? The passage is primarily about. The passage focuses on. The passage concerns. Or which of the following statements expresses the central point, main idea of the passage? When it comes to multiple choice, analyze 4 sentences carefully and think about the first 5 clues that we talked about when the main idea is stated, and also analyze the topic, supporting details, and keep in mind the pattern of organization. Remember, any topic sentence has to have a topic and a controlling idea. Okay, we just learned that to determine the main idea, we need to pay attention to the supporting details. Let's look at this puzzle picture. Can you tell me what this picture is about? Can you tell me what's on the picture, what's happening? No, because all major supporting details are covered. Now let's open one detail at a time. The first detail tells us about Goofy. He is having fun and he's excited about something and he's pointing at something. Let's open the second detail. The second detail shows us Pluto, the dog. He is also excited, he's having fun, and he is running. Let's go to the third detail. Donald Duck is also excited and he's also running. And Mickey, he is also excited, he's happy, and he's kicking something. Can you guess yet what's going on in the picture, or should we open the last detail to be sure? And the last detail shows us a football. Seems like Mickey is kicking that football. Now, can you see the picture clearly? Can you determine the main idea? Can you tell me what's going on in the picture? Now, let's open all the details and see the main idea closely. As you could probably guess, friends are playing football. This is the main idea. I hope this little puzzle shows you the importance of the supporting details. Before you decide what the main idea is, you need to examine and reveal all supporting details and make your conclusion about the main idea based on those supporting details.